In the vast, frozen heart of Siberia, a man was born who would one day become a legend, half mystic, half madman, feared and revered in equal measure. His name, Grigori Rasputin. To some, he was a holy healer. To others, a devil in disguise. His life straddled the line between myth and reality, faith and corruption, and ended in one of the most bizarre assassinations in Russian history. This is the story of Rasputin, the man who wouldn't die. Welcome to Historical Channel, uncovering untold stories, hidden facts, and the strangest chapters of history. Rasputin was born in January 1869 in the remote village of Pokrovskoye in western Siberia. The village was a harsh, isolated place where peasants lived close to the land and even closer to the church. From a young age, Rasputin stood out, not for brilliance, but for strangeness. Locals believed he possessed the second sight. He was prone to long stares, unpredictable moods, and moments of insight that bordered on the prophetic. As a young man, he married and had children, but he was restless. Around 1897, he left his family and embarked on a pilgrimage. That journey changed his life, and arguably, Russia's. Rasputin wandered from monastery to monastery, eventually reaching the famed Verkhoturi monastery. There, he came into contact with mystical branches of Russian Orthodoxy, especially sects that emphasized intense prayer, visions, and ecstatic experiences. Some rumors say he was influenced by the Klesti, a fringe group known for ritualistic practices involving self-flagellation and sexual rites. While there's no definitive proof Rasputin was a member, the rumors clung to him for the rest of his life. By the early 1900s, Rasputin had begun to gather followers as a starets, a holy man and healer. Word spread of his piercing eyes, hypnotic presence, and mysterious powers. Eventually, this reputation brought him to St. Petersburg, capital of Imperial Russia. There, he was introduced to the aristocracy, and in 1905, to the imperial family. Tsarina Alexandra, wife of Nicholas II, was a deeply religious woman and desperate mother. Her only son, Alexei, heir to the throne, suffered from hemophilia, a condition that left him vulnerable to even minor injuries. No doctor could help, but Rasputin could. On more than one occasion, Rasputin appeared to alleviate Alexei's suffering, either through prayer, hypnosis, or perhaps even by insisting doctors stop giving the boy aspirin, a blood thinner. To the Tsarina, Rasputin became more than a healer. He was a prophet, a guardian angel. She called him our friend. For the Tsar, Rasputin was a necessary evil, tolerated for the sake of Alexei's health. But outside the palace, rumors spread like wildfire. Rasputin drank heavily, consorted with prostitutes, and boasted of his influence. There were whispered reports of affairs with noblewomen, even with the Tsarina herself, though no proof ever emerged. The press and public were outraged. Cartoons depicted Rasputin as a lecherous puppet master, pulling the strings of the empire. Meanwhile, World War I was tearing Russia apart. Nicholas II took personal command of the army in 1915, leaving Alexandra in charge of domestic affairs, guided largely by Rasputin. Ministers were appointed and dismissed at his whim. As defeat followed defeat at the front, the people blamed not just the Tsar, but the shadowy mystic behind the throne. Politicians, nobles, and even members of the royal family began to see Rasputin as a threat to the empire. His growing power had to be stopped. On the night of December 29, 1916, a group of conspirators led by Prince Felix Yusupov and Grand Duke Dmitry Pavlovich lured Rasputin to Yusupov's palace. They offered him wine and cakes, allegedly laced with cyanide. But Rasputin didn't die, so Yusupov shot him, once, in the chest. Still alive, Rasputin fought back and fled into the courtyard. There, he was shot again, several times, and finally, his body was dumped into the icy Neva River. When it was recovered, water was found in his lungs, leading to the enduring myth that he had drowned while still alive. Modern historians doubt this detail. The autopsy report is disputed, but the legend stuck. Rasputin, the man who wouldn't die, needed poison, bullets, and freezing water to finally be stopped. Before his death, Rasputin reportedly wrote a chilling prophecy to Nicholas II. "If I die at the hands of common men, you will reign in peace. But if I am killed by nobles, you and your children will not live for more than 2 years." 2 months later, the February Revolution began. By July 1918, Nicholas II, Alexandra, and their children were executed by the Bolsheviks. Rasputin's prophecy seemed fulfilled, cementing his image as a doomed prophet. Since his death, Rasputin has become a symbol, a bogeyman of decadence, mysticism, and corruption. He has been portrayed in films, novels, and music videos as everything from a demon to a misunderstood visionary. So who was Rasputin? Healer or charlatan? Patriot or parasite? Holy man or hellion? Perhaps he was all of them or none. What is certain is that he was a man of his time, born of faith, fear, and a decaying empire on the brink. In life, Rasputin captivated a nation. In death, he became legend. This was the story of Grigori Rasputin, the man who wouldn't die.